Hello, 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 hello. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wherever you may be around the world, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Mia. I was going to say I am a goddess. Well, anyway, um, it is a beautiful day or a beautiful night tonight, and the weather is just nice and cool and things like that. So I'm doing this video tonight, and I usually go to sleep early, but tonight just that I have a lot of things I need to do, a lot of work I need to catch up on. So I'm like, let me make another video. And I'm gonna be talking about, shadow work. They also call it Dark Night of the Soul, and it's part of the healing um, journey as well. Okay. So, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about, like my experience, what I went through. Okay. For everyone, it's kind of different, but it's still the toughest thing anybody can go through. Okay, but to like I say, it's different for everybody. Different ways they experience things and things like that. Most likely, I think that I was kind of pushed into it, not forced but push. Okay, and I just know that the Supreme God was talking to me or had a calling up. I just know I had a calling, a very powerful calling upon my life, but I just know I was called to do something for the divine. But I was in religion, so it wasn't quite making sense. And I think that's what it kind of delayed me because I know that my gifts were just different. They were not responding to the teaching of religion of the church. Okay. So, but I was kind of pushing to this, and finally when that happened, the main, I call it, this is mean, I just call it the main wake up happened. Okay. um I had awakening before, like mini awakening here and there, things like that throughout the years, but I think the big blow came um this time around, and when it hit me there was no turning back. Okay. And most people that go through healing, starting their healing journey and things like that, or shadow work or journey of the soul or the transformation, um, usually is triggered by a twin flame. And most of the time it's triggered by a toxic twin flame. Okay. So basically someone that mirrored you, either how you are presently or how you were. Okay. So um, mine was triggered by a twin, and and that's really shook my world and truly, woke me up. Okay, I have never experienced anything like that, and when my healing journey started years ago, um, I didn't know I was go. I didn't. Well, I didn't really. To be honest, I really didn't know what was going on. Did I know or not know? I really don't know. Okay. But I just know that a transformation was taking place in my life, was happening to me. Okay. And and let me tell you something. I wouldn't even wish this. I mean, this shadow work. I wouldn't even wish this on my enemy, to be honest with you, because I think it's one of the toughest, darkest time or moment anyone can go through. Okay, because It's purging. It's purging. You are being purged. You are being cleansed. You are being forced to face things that either was buried or you forgot or you just don't want to remember. You know, and it's a spiritual trial. That's what it is. It's a spiritual trial. Um, it's a spiritual um, view. Basically, it's a spiritual review of things that happened to you or things that you did. Okay, and sometime they will come at once, and sometime every so often, certain memories will come up. And like I'm saying, like certain things you just want to let it be buried and stay buried. You don't want to face them. You don't want to remember them. You don't want those things to be dig up and be right in your face, and things like that. So, but most of the thing that when you go into your healing journey, the shadow work you got to do and things like that, things that you are forced to come face to face with, basically some people call it, you facing your demons or things that needs healing, you need healing from. Okay, and things that were unfinished businesses, unfinished business, or maybe things that you still need to work on. So um some people don't make it out. Some people don't make it, you see, because this shadow work, when you are being transformed from the inside out, everything, your being, your soul, your physical body, everything, your mind, your emotions, your mental state, everything, it's it could take a toll on anybody. It's like I say, and then when you have to face those dark times, things that happened to you in the past, things you were responsible for, or things that that happened to you that you were not responsible for, things that people did to you, moments and things like that, and and even things that you did not wanted to take responsibility for, but when you go into your shadow work, you have to face those things and see, was it your fault or not, and then if it was your fault, then you just got to admit to it and let it go. And you got to put closure to certain things, that you left open or unfinished, right? Unfinished work. So and during that time, everybody go through different things. Some people, it affects them physically. Some people go through through a lot of sicknesses or depression, depending on what are you healing from. you know um some people cried. I know I've cried a few times. Okay, and that was part of my healing and my transformation. Okay, and and also it's also when you go into these moments, this spiritual trial, it humbles you. It humbles you. It definitely kills the ego that is in you. Okay, it puts your ego to death. I mean, it destroys it completely. Completely. Okay, and then you start to have a better understanding of things, and you start to learn about how to forgive and let go and release. Okay, and release things that you were holding on to, and you just release them. People, places, or whatever the case may be. You learn to make peace with the situation, release it, and let it go. You know, and and some people, depending on their situation, they had to make peace with certain things. It teaches you, the shadow work teaches you also to make peace with your past. You know, peace with things that you know for a fact that you cannot change. But you refuse to understand that these things you cannot change, and you hold on to it. And sometimes you holding on to it, you're not even aware you holding on to it. Or sometimes you just bury it, thinking that it's just gonna go away. If you just bury it, it's finished, it's gone, and it's not. You know. And but these are the moments that God step in, and He's with you, and also the Holy Spirit can assist you in certain moments. Okay. There are people that think that they were losing their mind, and some of these things, they can be very powerful, you know, and very strong. Like, if you're not strong, you cannot survive this dark night of the soul, the shadow work, these things, the healing process. Okay. And if you were already a tough person, a strong person, you're gonna come out of this stronger. You know, um, if you were just a simple soldier, you're gonna come out of this a warrior. Okay, because it makes you. Okay, either the shadow work makes you or break you. Okay, and some people, unfortunately, it breaks them down, it breaks them, but some people, it makes you, it makes you into a brand, like I said, a brand new person. You are no longer the same, and there is no looking back. This is not something you can turn away from or return, or get halfway or one third of the way and say, okay, I'm not gonna continue this. There's no, you cannot. When you start, that's it. You cannot say, I can't continue, or I can't do this, I cannot continue. Okay. When once you start this journey, that you gotta finish it. It has to be finished. Okay. And like I say, you cannot just walk away from it. There's no such thing. You see, there's no such thing. And and when you got to reflect on certain things or remember things that you don't want to remember, that's the worst thing of all. You don't want to remember certain people, certain situations, certain places, or things like that. It's tough. It's tough. Either things people are guilty of doing to you, or things you are guilty of that you never admitted because of your ego. And this is where the ego death comes in, because once that ego is killed, is destroyed, then you're gonna admit that this situation, certain situation was your responsibility. Okay, and this is when you gotta ask the divine to forgive you, and show you how to release these things. And you gotta make peace with yourself, peace with that situation. Okay, and whoever it is that hurt you and everything, you gotta make peace, with them. I'm talking about spiritual level. You see, if these people cannot be reached physically, but spiritually, you can ask for forgiveness and make peace with that. You know, and I know that a lot of you, some people, it's really bad for them. Okay, and what helps is nature can help you a lot. If you stay in close connection with nature, that can help you a lot. Like, go to the forest or go to a park where there's a lot of trees, a lot of nature, a lot of plants, things like that. And for people that live out in the country, or in the boomsticks, or in the middle of nowhere, the shadow work can suit them just a little bit because they are close to nature. But if you're in the city, you got to try to get close to nature as possible. you know Listening to nice, smooth music can help. Like I said, these things are not gonna help everybody, but it depends, like, you know, on the individual. Some people, soothing bath help them. You know, some people, they do traveling, that helps them. Some people, they go shopping, that can help them, or they have a friendly ear, someone that has a friendly ear that will listen to them and support them and not criticize them or judge them. You see, because when you go into that healing process, that transformation, the last thing you need is someone to judge you or criticize you. Okay, when the universe itself is already dealing with you, you know, so you don't need that extra load on top of all these loads that you already have. That, these loads, this thing, this garbage or this thing, you gotta unload. Okay. Some people, finding a best friend, that can help them. Some people, it's meditation, prayer. Okay. And whatever, whatever works for you, and you try to find comfort in those things. Okay. Because you know that these are the things that's gonna soothe the pain, this extreme pain you going through. Okay. Because when you are being purged of all this energy that no longer serve you, it's not easy at all. you know and you need all the comfort that you can get. you know and some people, uh, find that, maybe if they do a lot of extra work, or find a hobby, something they're passionate about, and they work on that helps them. You see. For some people, they cannot, intake caffeine. You see. And and for other people, if you used to be a drinker, you may not, used to be like a heavy drinker, but if you, a here and now drinker, you probably will find yourself all of a sudden you just have no interest in alcohol, or you find yourself to have no more interest in drinking caffeine or anything that has caffeine in it. You see. Because those things can agitate, the healing process. Okay. It makes you more nervous. Okay. It makes you paranoid. You see. Because, when you go into this process, you need to stay as calm as possible. you know so you will find that. Okay. And some people, things that they were trying to some people, they have like certain habits. Just these are just example, like smoking or drinking, or anything. Okay. That was blocking their journey. Okay. Preventing them from awakening. They couldn't shake those addiction off. They couldn't shake off those bad habits. Things that were basically, um, if they were out there in the world, certain things they just could not get rid of or break free from. But when you start doing your shadow work, it will automatically fall off. Okay. It will automatically detach. You will automatically detach from these things, whatever that may be. you know some people spend a lifetime trying to get rid of a certain habit, a certain lifestyle, or certain, ways, that do not benefit the God Almighty. But when you go into the shadow work and you're doing dark night of the soul, through that transformation, these things start falling off automatically. You see, because it's like a leaf. Once a leaf fall off the tree, it cannot go back on the tree. You know, and unless you glue it back, but it's not gonna stay anyway. It's the same thing. So imagine you being the tree and a lot of dead leaves, leaves that can no longer serve you, things that you cannot grow with, that can no longer. Once a leaf is dead, it's not gonna grow. It's not gonna bloom. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's dead, and this is what the shadow work does. The dark night of the soul. It shakes up those dead leaves from the tree, those things that no longer serve you. Okay, so you don't need to fast. You don't need to go to here in any groups. You don't need to do any diets. Certain things just happen naturally. And this is why this is why it's not a journey you can quit, okay, or exit out of. Okay, you cannot. Once you start, that's it. It's all the way. It's a go all the way. Okay, it's not something you can exempt from. Okay, you cannot do that. You see, so that's what it does for you. You see, because there's a lot of people, certain things they were trying to get rid of, they couldn't do it. But through this journey here, it automatically it just goes away, you know, to never come back. You see, and even after in the future. So it's like you've been being delivered, and you become free, you know, because through this process, the Supreme God, gives you a new everything, even a new heart. It gives you, you know, and you really get set free. You see, you really do get set free. Okay, and it brings you closer to you, and this is where the self love began. The love that you start having for yourself, how you start loving yourself and caring for yourself and putting yourself first. You know, it's a great journey, you know, when you start finding who you are, why you're here, what is your purpose. It's a wonderful, wonderful, it's words cannot describe when you start discovering yourself, who you are, and your purpose here, your journey, okay, and your destiny. It's very powerful. But like I say, not everybody is gonna be called to do the healing, because not everybody, a lot of people not gonna accept it. Okay, not a lot of people not gonna be open to it. Okay, and a lot of people just refuse to do the work. They don't want to do the work. And many of you, God has been calling you forever, but you keep on rejecting it. You keep on delaying it, and you keep on acting like you don't even hear him and her. Okay, you act like you are deaf when God is calling you to heal and to transform and do the work. Okay, and get rid of everything that happened to you as a child. Get rid of all the wounds, the hurt, the pain, to release it and let it go. And like I was saying, like dead leaves on a tree, when it falls off, it falls off. You cannot put it back on, and you're trying to put the dead leaf back on the tree or glue it back, and it's not gonna stay. You see, some of you are very stubborn, hard-headed, and being disobedient to God and not listening to the Supreme God. and the plans that He has for you for your life. Remember that you came here on this earth for a purpose, on a purpose, on a journey, and most of you has rejected the calling on your life. So, guys, this is all I wanted to say about the shadow work. Okay, I may make another video in the future more about that and how it is a very powerful thing. Okay, I hope you guys have a good night and take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.